Welcome to the Success Sculpting Show with Stephen Pierce, bringing you the right information right now to sculpt a more meaningful and memorable life of success. Join us each week to discover gems to help you grow your mental toughness, expand your will to win, and multiply your results. It's never been easier to learn what to do and how to do it to succeed at what you choose to do. This is truly an experience you won't find anywhere else. Now, here's your host, the success sculptor himself, Stephen Pierce.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Success Sculpting Show. I'm your host, Stephen Pierce, and today what we are going to talk about are the 5 overlooked keys to success. Hey, listen, there are thousands of books about success out there, tons of podcasts, a gazillion videos, great information, but I believe there's some overlooked keys. As I reflect and I remember what it took for me to come from the very, very bottom with no help from anybody, no assistance, no coaches, literally having to figure the whole thing out, just me and the Most High. There are some things that I learned along the way with my boots on the ground, right? Actually building and doing it. And those are 5 of the things that we're going to be talking about today. All right. Now, before we do it, though, one of the things that's important about you and your success and your future is how you start your day. And I'm talking about more than the daily routine and your morning routine. I'm talking about the mindset that you have the moment you wake up. And I want you to at least be open to having the mindset that the moment you open your eyes, before your feet even hit the floor, I want you to know that it's showtime. That it's showtime. It's your time right then and right there. And get up knowing that you are the catalyst to your family's success and happiness, and they need you to perform and they need you to deliver. Every day, you have to know that you are the quality control point for your family's lifestyle, and that even if they may kind of give you some resistance, they're actually pulling for you to win. They just don't want to be disappointed, and they don't want you to be disappointed, especially if they're reflecting on things that didn't necessarily work in the past. But understand that they are internally, even if they don't verbalize it, and even if they kind of give you these disapproving looks, they're deep inside really pulling for you to win, really hoping that it works out. And you have to know that in the midst of that, and in all of your learning, you do have the capacity to build your skills so that you can deliver extraordinary results. They may not be extraordinary results every day, but they can become extraordinary results. So when you wake up, you have to know that when your feet hit the floor, in fact, before your feet hit the floor, you have to know that it's your time right here, right now to play your position. And you need to play that position with courage. You need to play that position with commitment. And you need to play that position with consistent, relentless forward action. And know that right now, you are needed more than ever, not just in your family, but probably in your community and people that it is that you deal with. That you're needed more than ever. And as you get up and as you prepare for your day, whatever it is you are about to do, that then is your defining moment. Every time you engage in something, how you engage in it, that is a defining moment for you. That's a defining moment. And the actions that we take, the mindset that we use in that moment is something that's going to move forward. That thing is going to go forward. We either are going to be strengthening the better parts of ourselves, or we're going to be strengthening the weakest and worst parts of ourselves. Because we kind of have that duality that's in us. We can be punks. You know what I'm saying? We can be cowards, but it's a choice. Just like being courageous is a choice. And when you're faced with that fear, you're faced with that moment of intimidation, there's nothing wrong with being faced with it. It's what you decide when you come face to face with it. That's the defining moment. Am I going to do this? Am I going to bounce back? Am I going to be resilient? Am I going to have that intestinal fortitude to keep pushing forward? That is a defining moment. When something doesn't work, how you respond to that becomes a defining moment. When people leave, how you respond to that is a defining moment. Every day we have these defining moments. And what I want you to know is that, hey, just take it 1 hour at a time. And with each hour, make it your finest hour. Hey, we don't have to think about next year, next month, next week, not even tomorrow. Let's look at what's in front of us. The hour that I'm working right now, I'm going to make this my finest hour. I'm going to make the next hour my finest hour too, but I can't do that yet because that hour hasn't come. You follow what I'm saying? I'm going to make that this moment, this hour right now, I'm going to make that my finest hour. And know that if you do that, you can become secure as your family's provider. And they want you to be secure for today, for the future, for your legacy. And they need you to deliver. But what stands in the way? There's 3 counterproductive things that we tend to do that shut down our showtime moment. And by the way, that's what I call that. I call that showtime in the morning. When you wake up, baby, it's showtime. That's it. Hey, I'm the catalyst to what my family needs. You know what I'm saying? I'm the quality control point. It starts with me. It stops with me. I'm the one, because I'm the one that's doing this, not them. Hey, they can give me the disapproving looks. They can sneer. They can growl. But I got to do this because I know deep down inside, they want me to win. And I'm saying this in general. And that's the thing you need to know, because you and I both know people can disapprove what it is you're doing. But the moment you start winning is the moment they're going to start cheering. I knew you could do it, baby. No, you didn't. But it's all right, because you do not have to carry their unbelief. For example, if you like the scripture, remember when David went to fight Goliath? A very powerful lesson when David went to fight Goliath. When he went, he saw all the soldiers. These were the men of war at that time, including Samuel. Guess what? They were hiding. They were afraid to go out and face Goliath. But one thing you can take from that is that David did not allow that fear to become contagious. He didn't allow that fear to become contagious. He did not catch that fear. That's their fear, not my fear. They can own that fear. I don't have to own somebody else's fear. So other people around, you know what? I'm going to come back on another podcast because I have a whole breakdown of that whole David and Goliath thing. So we're going to have to do that on another episode. But just a quick point right there is that just because people around you may be afraid and may be unbelieving and may be doubtful and may be intimidated, does not mean you have to catch it like it's a cold or like it's a virus. You can allow them that, hey, listen, if that's what they want to do, if that's what they want to be, if that's what they want to feel, that's on them. That is on them, but you do not have to catch that. You do not have to allow that to get into your system. And then that starts to break down, and then all of a sudden, you're just like, man, why am I afraid? Why am I apprehensive? Because you're catching that fear virus, that fear bug from the people that are around you. They start getting in your ear. They start talking to you, and you all of a sudden you start to listen, and that doubt starts to build up. You know, oh, you know what? Maybe you're right. Yeah, you know, I guess that's true. No, it's not true. It may be true for them, but it doesn't have to be true for you. But what are some of the counterproductive things we do? There are really 3 specific things that we do that shut down our showtime moment every single day. And remember, showtime happens the moment you open your eyes. I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, and I have to hit the floor quick. I got to get up quick. I have a full day. I have my morning routine. Maybe we'll do an episode on morning routines and evening routines and all that. We'll probably get to that. But I have to realize no matter what's going on in my life, it's showtime. I have to show up. Guess what? My circumstances and your circumstances don't care. We have to care enough to show up to face those circumstances, to face those issues. Our circumstances don't care about how we feel, about what we think, about our ambitions, our dreams, our goals, what we wish for and hope for. Our circumstances don't care. We have to show up and come face to face with whatever those circumstances are, whether we like them or not, whether we can appreciate them or not. It doesn't matter. We have to show up. That's why it has to be showtime. But what's the first counterproductive thing that we do? First thing is regretting the past. And you know you're regretting the past whenever you're thinking in terms or talking in terms of, I should have. Oh, man, I should have did this, or man, I shouldn't have done that, and all these different things. Hey, listen, man. Hey, look, I think all of us have done things, experienced things, and made decisions that if we can go back, man, we would not make those decisions. We would not make those decisions. Unfortunately, a lot of our life we live looking through the rearview mirror in the sense of, well, if I knew then what I know now. But that's all about life experience. But here's the thing, regretting your past does not serve you. The moment you constantly focus on your past, you're taking viable living energy in the moment, and you are depositing it into a place that it cannot be used. None of the energy that you have today will allow you, no matter how intensely you focus on your past with regret and with remorse, is going to allow you to go back and change it. Nothing, no matter how painful it may be. So what we have to do is we have to bury the hatchet with our past. We have to come to some kind of closure with the past, accept the lessons from it, and vow to make whatever the necessary changes are so that we don't repeat those changes, become better from it. We can come better from the best things that happened in our past and from some of the worst things that happened in our past. Hey, listen, I have an old saying, if it happens once, it's an accident. If it happens twice, it's a coincidence. If it happens 3 or more times, that's a pattern. And I'm saying that because if you today are doing the same thing that you did before and you still don't like the results, then that's a pattern that has to be addressed. A pattern of activity, a pattern of thought, a pattern of emotion, a pattern of reacting. And we need to understand what that pattern is and do something about it. Right? In some of the previous podcasts, I kind of went into some of the solutions to that. Maybe we'll do something like that a little bit later in another episode. But we have to understand that the more we focus on the worst of our past and the things that we regret, what happens is we start to live a life being remorseful, and that takes away from us being resourceful. And what that means is we have all this regret, and that blinds us to not just the available resources, because it's not that so much, but it blinds us to how resourceful we can be and having learned the lessons, and how resourceful we can be with where it is we are today. Because no matter how bad it was, you made it to today. And if all you do is regret, you're not able to identify and appreciate the strength that you had to get through it. And I'm talking more from a negative past perspective, because very few people tend to reflect on their past and be jolly and laughing, because most time when we visit the past, we're revisiting some of the worst things that happened. There were some of the worst things that we experienced. And the past starts to become a straitjacket. It will immobilize you. And you'll start to feed forward a lot of those different things, and you'll be making today's decisions based on yesterday's regrets. And that's one of the worst things you can possibly do. Because just because something happened in the past, good or bad, does not mean it's going to happen in the future. I did a video on Facebook, and one of the things I was talking about is one of the most powerful statements that is required if you're into stocks, futures, commodities, the Forex, cryptocurrencies, whatever. One of the things you have to do when it comes to a trading website is you have to put on there that past performance is not indicative of future results. Because what you have to do is say, hey, look, man, I have this awesome trading record, but that does not mean I'm going to have an awesome trading record in the future. It's a required disclaimer. But the point is in your own life, the past performance in your life, good or bad, but let's talk about the bad, that is not indicative that you're going to perform badly in the future or today. But the one thing I can assure you, if you hold on to that, if you keep that flame of failure in your belly, it is going to burn up every moment you have today to perform at your best. It is. And that's our responsibility. We have to make the decision to let it go. And another decision we have to let go is if anybody in your life wants to hold you hostage to your past, they have to go. They have to go. If they want to constantly remind you of things that happened and that person is no longer you. Think about this. Even 5 years ago, heck, last year, you in your body right now, you do not even have the same skin. You do not have the same hair. You do not have the same nails, because you're constantly generating new cells, generating new nails. So in essence, physically, you are a different person. Now, internally, you may not be different. Mentally, you may not be different. You may be the same or you may be worse off, depending on how we are engaging with our past. There are a lot of great things we can get from our past. I'll give you an example. I'm going to write back real quick to David and Goliath real quick. This is one of my favorite history lessons because I take a lot from it. See, there's two powerful things about your mind. You have your imagination and you have your what? You have your memory. That's what we used to go to the past. Now, what happened when David was facing Goliath? What did he say? He first used his memory. He went to his past. He didn't remember what did I say Samuel earlier? What Saul and them said? I said Samuel, didn't I? Saul and them said, what you doing here and what have you done with those sheep? No. I did say, look, I'm tripping, man. I'm tripping. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. But he did not remember that. What he remembered, he said, hey, I remember killing the bear with my bare hands. I remember killing the lion with my bare hands. What he remembered was victory. He didn't remember insults. He didn't remember the demeaning things. He didn't say, man, I'm nothing but a sheep herder. He didn't remember. He remembered those moments of victory. That was him using his memory in a very productive way. But what about his imagination? He was looking at Goliath and he said, and I see your head coming off. That was a vision. That was him using his imagination. I see your head coming off. The head didn't come off yet, but it came off. So he used his memory to remind him that he is capable, even though he had not fought a Goliath before, but he's capable of winning a fight. And then he used his own imagination and said, and this is what's going to happen. And then he said, this day, the Most High is going to deliver you to me. All right, I'm going to leave it right there. But the point is every single day you were using your imagination and you were using your memory. Most of us are using our memory. And when we use our imagination, it's really an amplification of our memory. What do I mean? We will remember all the bad things that happen. And then our imagination is an amplifying of those bad things happening even more in the future. And that is our own doing. So what's the counterproductive thing that we do? It goes to what I was just talking about. How we use our imagination is worrying about the future. And you're doing a lot of worrying about the future when you have negative what ifs. What if this doesn't work? What if that doesn't work? What if they say no? What if they hang up on me? What if they, well, you look, and what if that does happen? Are you going to die? Are you going to spontaneously combust? No, but we live through this lens of negative what ifs. What if it doesn't work? But when we tell you why we do that a lot, because again, it goes back to how we're reflecting. What if this doesn't work? Why? Because you've had a lot of other things that hadn't worked. Hey, who hasn't? It's really how we interact with these life experiences that really makes the difference. Right? Are we learning the lessons? Are we becoming better? Are we becoming bitter? Right? Are we growing or are we shrinking? Is it building more courage or are we just becoming cowards as a result? Look, we have to become tough. Because life isn't easy. Nothing is really easy. I know we would want it to be, but let me tell you this. Truth be told, if it was easy, you wouldn't be able to appreciate it. You wouldn't be able to appreciate whatever it is you win in life if it was easy to get. And look, that's fact. Well, at least it's my fact. It's not something you will be able to appreciate. Real quickly, now what is the third thing that is counterproductive? The first two is one, all the regrets of the past, how we abuse our memory. The second thing is worrying about the future, how we abuse our imagination. Because the only thing we're doing is imagining the future. I mean, think about it, because it's not even here yet. It's just the use of our imagination. And the third thing is being overwhelmed in the moment. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Just being very flighty in mind and overwhelmed because we have no sense of focus and no sense of purpose. No sense of focus or no sense of purpose, or we're chasing the wrong things. We're chasing approval. We're chasing clout. We're chasing status. We're chasing these things that are just total vanity that give no real meaning to life. And in the moment, let me tell you something about how to change the moment in your life, the moment that you're operating in right now. Is not about seeking motivation. I get motivation has a part, but motivation is only good enough for now. It's like lighter fluid. It runs out and it can run out quick. See, somebody can introduce you to an opportunity to do a business, and you can get motivated to do it. They'll show you all these material things to kind of get you chasing material things and consumerism. And I want the house, I want the car, I want the watch, I want this, that, and the other. And you get motivated because you see the comp plan, or you see the opportunity, and there's nothing wrong with being motivated. But that is enough to get you started. It's never enough to get you to complete it. Because what happens here, follow me, what happens is motivation gets you into it. And then when you see that, man, this is tough, this is hard, this isn't working out like I thought it was, you start to lose your motivation, right? Now you're no longer motivated. And that's why I disdain people that try to use material things as bait to get people to be motivated to do something. Because somebody can get hyped up in the moment, but it's not going to be worth it. Everything they have to go through is not going to be worth it. So what makes the difference in the moment? Inspiration. Motivation is a child of inspiration. Motivation can get you to do something in this moment short term, but it's inspiration when things are not working that keep you holding on. Because inspiration lets you know that it's worth it. That's the difference right there. You want it and you're motivated, but you don't want it anymore when it seems so hard. But it's worth it when you're inspired. You're inspired by something that's much bigger, is greater than the accumulation of things. We need to understand in our life how to connect to something that is greater than the car, the house, the watch, the status, the association, the accolades, and all this other kind of stuff, which is fleeting. You're chasing the wrong thing. Those are drugs. And if you get hooked on that, life becomes miserable. Miserable. We don't ever want to live our life hooked on, first of all, we don't want to be hooked on any chemical substances, be they cocaine or sugar, or should I say sugar or cocaine, because sugar is probably more addictive than cocaine, but that's another topic. We don't want to be hooked on that kind of stuff. We don't want to be hooked on people's approval. We don't want to be hooked on material things. And don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with having good friends. And when I say good friends, that's a small pool of people. And I think that's true for most people, what you would consider to be good, true, loyal friends. And there's nothing wrong with having nice things. It's when those nice things have you and they become your obsession, and that's what you live for. That's what you live for. Nah, that's not the ticket, man. That's not the ticket. And if you're new to the game of looking to turn your life around and build your life, why do you think people, I call them op hoppers? They're opportunity hoppers. They hop from one opportunity to another opportunity to another opportunity because they're motivated to get in one, and then after reality smacks them across the jaw, they become demotivated, and then they get motivated to get into something else. But they have no pocket, deep-rooted inspiration that gets them to master one thing, own that thing, grow that thing, build that thing, and build something that becomes a part of their legacy. They're on the chase for those short-term things that are just nothing but total vanity, and it is not enough to sustain you through those hard times when it gets difficult, when it gets confusing, when it seems like you're losing time and you're losing money and nothing seems to be working out the way that you want it to work out. That's when you need to be inspired. Motivation doesn't work at that point. You can get pumped up all day long. You need to have something that inspires you, that elevates you from what it is you're dealing with and helps you to push through it. That's the difference. Motivation is a child of inspiration. To me, inspiration is the pinnacle. It's the top. It sits at the top, right? So remember, when you wake up in the morning, it's showtime. It's showtime, right? It's time to get it on. But we want to make sure that as we engage in our day, that we're being present and we're being in the moment. And if we revisit our past, we want to extract things from our past that strengthen us for the moment that we're in, like David did. He remembered great things that he did. He didn't remember himself being small. Oh, I never fought a Goliath before. Oh, look at what they just said. I'm talking about the sheep. He's like, look, man, I got this. I am going to do a podcast. There's some serious breakdowns on that right there that can probably help you throughout your life. How to deal with your giants in life, because we all have giants. How to beat down your Goliath, right? Okay, but what about the 5 overlooked keys to success? Let's go over these real quick. Like the first one is it's about direction, not motion. Where do I want to go? See, the thing is, a lot of people are busy doing stuff, and they look like they're productive. Nah, they're just moving around a lot. But there's no sense of direction where you can see measurable progress on very distinct things. They look busy. The person that says, man, I run 5 companies. No, you don't. What you run is your mouth. I was talking to somebody about that. Most entrepreneurs don't run nothing but their mouths. That's it. They just run their mouth because they don't. If you run in a real business and you building a real business, you ain't got time to be up there running your mouth. You don't. Because it's hard, man. It is hard. Life is hard, and you double down on hard when you say you want to build a business. But look, it's all good. You can do it. You can do it. But one of the keys to success is setting direction, not just about motion. Where do I want to go specifically? Where? And you have that laser focus on that, the direction that you're going. And it's important because it's bigger than goal setting, right? Because like, oh, you're talking about goal setting. Yes and no. It's bigger than goal setting because generally when a person sets a goal, it becomes a target they want to hit, something they want to accomplish, something they inspire to experience. And to me, that goal is kind of sitting out there somewhere in the future, and it's not really pulled into the moment. But stick with me here. And that's what it is. It's a target. It's something they're gunning for, if you will. What I'm talking about is bigger than that. What I'm talking about is when you set a certain direction. For example, check this out. If you have a GPS in your car, right? You have a GPS in your car and you want to get from point A to point B, and you put in point B, the car already knows you're at point A. It's going to give you the directions directly to point B. Here's the point. It's going to take you past tons of different exits because you don't need that exit. You don't need this exit. You don't need that exit. I'll tell you what exit you need because I'm going to get you there. That's the GPS. What's the point? When I'm talking about direction, I'm talking about knowing where you want to go so intently. It's not just a target, but it becomes a filter on what not to do and on where not to go. That is different. Because a lot of people can know what they want, but they take so many different rabbit trails, they never get there. They're so distracted. They're rubbernecking. They're looking at shiny objects. Oh, that's so beautiful. Flighty minded, very flighty. But direction is really about not just knowing where you want to go, but where you want to go becomes a filter on what to do and what not to do, who to connect with and who not to connect with, where to be and where not to be. So it doubles as the target and the filter. See, your GPS doesn't say, hey, exit 21 is coming up. We can go there if you want to, but you really need to take exit 32. No. It doesn't give you that option. It says, hey, you just put in where you want to go, and we're going to bypass all of the unnecessary exits that won't get us there, and get you to the exit that will get you there. That's what direction is about. It's about very deliberately moving through your day and your life, knowing how to say no to the things that you need to be saying no to. Whether it's television and entertainment or meaningless conversations that are the equivalent to empty calories, bunch of junk food, right? A lot of people have junk food conversations. It's a volume of nothing. That's it. A lot of nothing. And you can have those kind of conversations even with other entrepreneurs, right? Because it's all talk. Remember, I said most entrepreneurs aren't running a business, they're running their mouth. And there's a difference. So that's the first key. It's about direction, not motion. And remember, direction is more than just a target. It's a filter that you use every single day that lets you know, read this, not that, do this, not that, go here, not there. It is a filter. Because of where you want to go, you know how to properly use your time. And that brings us to number 2. What is the second overlooked key to success? Second overlooked key is focus, not time. Focus, not time. See, we live our life, right? And a lot of us live our life through what? Time management. Time management. We got to manage our time. Listen, man, let me tell you one of the most powerful and beautiful things about time. is not what you manage per se, is what you deposit. See, here's the thing. You got your calendar, you got your planner, you got your beautiful book or your digital planner, and you start to slot in everything you're going to do from sun up to sundown, from morning to afternoon to night. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, blah, 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 whatever. Right? You put it all in there. But let me ask you this. If you were dog sick that day, what's going to be the quality of that time? No matter what you put on your schedule. See, we think that's managing time. That is allocating time, but the quality of the time is based on the deposit in that moment. See, if you're pissed off in the moment, what's going to be the quality of that moment? Huh? What's going to be the quality of that moment? If you were just absolutely ticked off, not necessarily a good moment, is it? Right? So what we put into time is our focus. That's why I say it's focus, not time. What's important right now? Where is my energy? Right? Where am I emotionally? Because here's the thing. You cannot stop the hour that's going to go by. That hour is going by regardless. You're not going to hold back that second hand that's swinging around the clock or ticking on your watch. It's going to roll by regardless. The only thing we can determine is what we deposit in those ticking seconds. A lot of people, they want to deposit negativity. They'd love to spend their time just trying to, beat up on other people, talk about other people. Some people like to deposit lies into their time, right? Look, it's all about what you are deciding to put into your time. Are you depositing television into your time? Are you depositing cat videos into your time, or whatever your thing is? What are you depositing into your time? That's it. It's focus. What are you focused on as the seconds tick by, as the hours go by? What are you focused on? And then with that focus, where are you mentally, and where are you emotionally, and where are you physically in those moments? It doesn't matter what you put on your schedule. Doesn't matter what you write in your book. Doesn't matter how fancy you make it. You could put your stickers and you can use your highlighters. You know how many people use stickers and highlighters and put a whole bunch of stuff down and they still don't get anything done? Looks good. But entrepreneurship ain't a fashion show, man. It ain't about being pretty. It's about being productive, right? Life isn't necessarily about being pretty, although I know a lot of people think it's a show in the sense of how you look to other people. Don't get caught in that trap. That's a trap. That's a setup. No. Don't get caught up in that. It's about how are you going to be producing. Third thing, number 3, the third overlooked key to success: capacity, not capability. And the question is, are you willing to grow? And what is the difference? A lot of us look at our current capabilities and think that we can't do something because we haven't done it before, because we don't know. And listen, it's just new stuff. You've learned new stuff. Look, if you're of any age listening to this, you've learned a lot of new stuff. The reason I say is capacity over capabilities, because if you believe you have the capacity to grow, then you will grow your capabilities. Think about today. 20 years ago, nobody was using social media. Nobody was using Facebook. Nobody was doing podcasts. Look, I'm not talking about radio shows. I'm talking about podcasts. Nobody was doing the stuff that they're doing on the internet. People they didn't have all the websites out there that we have today. That wasn't it. So what happened? People learned some new stuff. People had the capacity to increase their capabilities with technology, etc. As long as you are of the growth mindset and you know that you have the capacity to grow, and you're not of the fixed mindset where you feel as if you've grown to the extent that you can grow, you'll accomplish whatever it is you want to accomplish. No question. I don't know when. It'll be tough. And that's the thing we have to accept, man. Let's stop acting like we got wet noodles as a spine, looking for everything to be easy, man. It's going to be hard, face it. It's going to be tough, face it. You're going to have some setbacks, face it, accept it, put your mouth guard in and get to it. That's what you got to do. You got to put your mouth guard in, bite down on it, and go, man. Get it. Go and tuck your chin, bob, weave, swing, take that body blow, give a body blow. Take one to the head, give one to the head. Fight for what it is you want. Ain't nobody going to give it to you. Nobody's going to give it to you. If you want it, you got to go out there and you got to take it. When I say take it, I ain't talking about like illegally, right? I'm talking about legally go out there and take it. You understand what I'm saying? Number 4, what is the 4th overlooked key to success? Energy, not effort. Oh man, that was a good effort. Man, screw your effort. Hey, listen. You watch sports. If you watch sports, 2 teams gets on the field. You don't get a W because of effort. Hey, listen, the losing team put an effort in to win, but they didn't get the W. See, a lot of us, we want to get paid because we want to be acknowledged. Oh, I tried. What is that supposed to mean? And see, for some people, that's harsh because they want the reward for trying. If you get rewarded for trying, what's the payoff for winning? Why win if I'm going to get rewarded for trying? I tried to close the sale. I tried to get the deal. Look, man, if a guy is at the free throw line, hey, listen, the game, LeBron missed the free throws. I don't know. You can love him, like him, hate him, whatever. That's not even the point. He tried 2 free throws. They didn't go in. He didn't get points because he tried to sink the free throws. He tried to make the game-winning shot. It didn't go in. Guess what? Hey, his effort may be appreciated, but guess what? It didn't go in. It did not go in. But don't get me wrong. Effort precedes the results. But we have to get out of the mindset that effort is everything. Long as you put in a good effort. No. Look, putting in the proper effort, that's table stakes. If you're not willing to put in the effort, you don't even belong in the game. Whatever that game may be. It can be the political game, the entrepreneurial game. It could be the music game. Whatever the game is, if you don't if effort isn't a part of your DNA, you don't even get to play. So it goes beyond that. It gets to the energy. It gets to the stamina. Right? I say everybody has a number. Right? Everybody has a number. If you're in the United States, you got a social security number. You got a driver's license number, right? You have a number on your car, the license plate number. You're born, you had a date of birth number. You're going to die, so you're going to have a deceased number. Right? Everybody has a number, but that's not the number that I talk about. I talk about the number of times you're going to do something before you quit or the number of times you're going to do something before you win. But you're going to have a number. What is that number going to be? That never quit, never give up number. See, I don't have a number. I don't know what my number is on certain things because I don't know how many times I'm going to have to bounce back, how many times I'm going to have to claw back, how many times I'm going to have to get back up until I win, until I win again, until I win again. It is go until you succeed. I don't care how tired you are, how bloodied you are, how exhausted you are. Take a deep breath, get a sip of water, and get back to it. Nobody cares about you being tired. In fact, if you in combat and you get tired, it's over, man. You better work on that stamina. You better work on that endurance because your opponent would love to see you tired because then he gonna really step up. Do you think if you're fighting somebody and you see your opponent tired, you're going to take it easy? I'm going to lay back on him because he's tired. Heck nah, you're going to be like, he's tired. I'm going to double down on it now. I'm going to triple up on it. I'm going to really overwhelm him now because he's too exhausted. It's about energy, man. It's about stamina. It's about endurance. It's about allowing your persistence to outlast life's resistance. You're going to always have some form of resistance at what it is you're doing. When David went to face Goliath, guess what? He was resisted by Saul. I know I said Samuel earlier. Come on now, stick with me here. It's early in the morning. He was resisted by Saul. In fact, he was insulted by Saul while they were sitting there being afraid. David was so small, their gear didn't even fit him. But it's all about your energy, not somebody else's energy. And you have to guard your energy. Now, this is important. You have to protect your energy. I call it energy management. That's the second thing over time management is focus management and energy management. Because just like I was telling you about time, what you're depositing into every moment determines the quality of that moment. So if you have no energy to deposit into the moment, what's going to be the quality of that hour or of that day or of that week or of that month? You have to protect your energy. So what are the energy vampires in your life? Or should I say, who are the energy vampires in your life? Sometimes it ain't a it, it's a breathing who. You know what I'm saying? You have to protect your energy. Like if you deal with me with nutrition, in fact, when I deal with people and I work with them one-on-one, one of the first things I talk about is energy management. What do you eat? Most people eat for entertainment. I eat for energy. And you could tell the folk that eat for entertainment, I ain't trying to be insulting, but I'm just saying. It catches up to you. You know, a lot of the illnesses that we experience today, you don't catch them like colds. They're a product of how we eat and what we eat. Your body and your energy, that's what you're taking with you wherever you go, with your family, with your business, whatever it is you want to do, it requires energy to do it. How you take care of your energy. What do I do for my mental energy? What do I do for my physical energy? I work out 5 times a week on average, and I give it everything. And I don't need somebody in the gym with me. I don't need some people need somebody in the gym with them to get started. I go beat myself up in the gym. I go in there and I beat myself up in the gym. I'm 50 years old, but you wouldn't know if you saw me in the gym. I beat myself up. I'm harder on myself than I will allow anybody to be hard on me. Because that's my own personal responsibility. I don't need somebody there holding my hand to go work out. I don't need some cheerleader. That's why I love the scripture that says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Having no overseer or ruler, she gets the deal done. Have you ever seen a colony of ants? If you have, tell me where you see the ants with the pom-poms cheerleading. You could do it. You could do it. Go, 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 go. Ants don't need, they programmed to get it done. We need cheerleaders. We need a vial of motivation. Come on, man. Really? We got to stop being soft and stop waiting and stop looking to be pacified and people to come around and massage our shoulders. We need to get up, man up, woman up, put our belly to the bar, suit up for war and get it going and get it done. That's what we need to do. Stop waiting for everybody to like us. Stop waiting for everybody to approve of us. Stop waiting for people to want to go with it. I don't care if you come. You ain't got to come. I'm going anyway. You don't need to be with me. In fact, if you scared, you probably get me killed anyway. You get in the way. Stay home. Stay back until you get your mind right. But right now, the men of war got to go to battle. And you got to remember, every single day you fighting for your life. You fighting for your legacy. You're fighting for your family. Now, how are you going to handle that? I don't care how they treat you. You still fighting for them. They don't understand. They don't get it. When David went to face Goliath, he was fighting for all of Israel, even Saul and the soldiers that did not appreciate him showing up. He was fighting for them all. But what he had to focus on was the Goliath in front of him, not those that wanted to berate him and belittle him. See, we're too busy thinking about what other people thinking about us. We're allowing what their meaningless thoughts, because it don't mean anything, man. It does. At the end of the day, their thoughts are going to perish. The scriptures even tell you that. Hey, when they die, their thoughts die with them. It doesn't even matter. They're mortal thoughts. It don't even matter. So why are we going to allow that to distract us from what it is we're doing in the moment? Manage your energy, man. What are you doing? Are you sitting in front of television? Are you just binge watching a whole bunch of stuff, being sapped of your life. No, look. I've said this many times before, and I think I need to say it again. I'm not saying downtime is bad, but most people got too much downtime. What you need is some uptime. It's like the person, it's like they're having a cheat day. I'm like, dude, when do you not have a cheat day with your meals? Stop telling me every day is a cheat day. Stop telling me you're bulking every day. Come on, man. At some point in time, we have to stop fooling ourselves. And for those that don't know what I'm talking about in terms of cheat meals and bulking and all that, hey, I apologize. But we have to be honest with ourselves. Don't lie to yourself. Don't make it okay. Don't make it okay. Don't allow yourself to wiggle out of situations. Don't accept any excuses from yourself. Don't do it. And don't accept excuses from anybody else. Forget it. Number 5, the 5th overlooked key to success: impact, not intentions. What results are an absolute must that you produce? And they're all saying the path to hell is paved with good intentions. Everybody wants to talk about their intentions. This is why I intend. Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with intentions in terms of what you intend to accomplish. But when everything is riding on your intentions, and that's all you're focusing on, well, you had good intentions. Damn your good intentions. What was the impact? I didn't intend to hit you in the face, but the impact is I broke your jaw. So what we going to be talking about? My intentions or that hospital bill on your broken jaw? Right? So but guess what? Intentions, that's that soft space. See, it feels good when you talk about your intentions. But when you start talking about impact, now we're talking about real results, measurable results, and accountability. And that is what people like to run from. Because you hear it when they're running. Hey, it's not my fault. I know it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. See, it's easier to focus on what our intentions are because that's the soft space. Because guess what? You don't know my intentions. You're right. Nobody can get in your head. Okay, but I can definitely see what your results are. I can see your impact. And if your impact and your intentions don't match, damn your intentions. Because the only thing that matters is what the impact is. You understand what I'm saying? You intended to start at the business, but you spent too much time doing something else. So so you're supposed to be rewarded for your intentions? So we're supposed to pat you on the head, come rub your back, and say, well, you had good intentions. We understand you had good intentions. Nah, man. See, that makes you softer and softer and soft. Look, I've dealt with people. They don't like to deal with numbers and they don't like to deal with impact. That's all I care about is what's going to be the impact. Now the waters start to get very, very blurry and very clouded when everybody wants to start bringing their emotions and intentions into it. Hey, don't get me wrong. There is a place for emotions. There's a place for intentions. But let me ask you this. You have a publicly traded company. They're doing it's time for the quarterly earnings report. And they report dismal earnings. I mean, they missed the mark big time. But then the CEO says, but our intention was to have double that. Do you think they buy the stock because they had good intentions, or do they sell it into the ground because of the impact and the results? They're going to sell the thing off because of the results. Hey, CEO, your intentions don't matter. You missed. You missed. See, that's the reality of life. We too many of us live in this bubble with these soft, spineless people that want to constantly talk about, oh, my intentions. I don't care. Who cares? Life does not care what you intend to accomplish. It only cares about what you're producing. The impact. What is the impact? Hey, listen, you intend to go to the gym and you don't. Do you think you're going to lose weight? You think you're going to build muscles because you intended to go to the gym, but you didn't? I intended to go, but I didn't go. So your biceps are going to say, okay, we're going to get a little stronger. Your stomach's going to say, okay, we're going to get a little flatter and a little tighter because you intended to go. No, man. What is the impact? The impact on your body ain't going to be good if all you have are good intentions to hit the gym and change your diet or your meals. See, we look, man, stop allowing these people around you soften you up for the kill. And that's all that's happening. Softening you up so life will kill you in your dreams. That's it. No, we don't want to play that game. So quick recap, the 5 overlooked keys to success. 1, it's direction, not motion. Where do we want to go? And that direction is not just a target, it's also a filter. Focus, not time. What's the most important thing right here, right now? We want to focus on that. Our capacity, not just capabilities. Our capabilities can grow. Growth mindset. If you don't think they can, you're of the fixed mindset. Am I willing to grow? And if I'm willing to grow, I will demonstrate that by me investing in myself to grow. Energy, not effort. What's your number? Remember I said, what's your number? Everybody has a number. The number of times they're going to do something before they quit. The number of times they're going to do something before they win. That's it. Everybody has a number. Think about it. If you like sports, every athlete has something called stats. That's their number, right? How many free throw, what's their free throw percentage? What's their turnover rate? Or if you're quarterback, interceptions versus receptions. If you're a receiver, catches versus drop ball, the whole thing, everybody has a number. But people run from numbers because the numbers tell you the truth. Effort tells you nothing. But you have to bring the balance in, because don't think that I don't think effort doesn't count. It does. So make sure we understand the proper balance. But we tend to have this imbalance. You want to have your numbers. If you're making phone calls, how many calls did you make? How many people did you talk to? How many voicemails did you get? How many voicemail messages did you leave? How many people said yes? How many people said no? How many people said, let me think about it? How many people said, send me more info? How many follow-ups did you schedule? How many followers did you make? How many appointments did you set? How many presentations did you give? How many sales did you close? What is your closing percentage? What is the value per transaction? What are the numbers, man? Do you think if you use Google Analytics, you go into your Google Analytics and it just has your efforts? No, it shows you your numbers. It shows you nothing about your effort. Because guess what? Numbers are a scoreboard and they are a lagging indicator. Remember that. Your number is a scoreboard. It is a lagging indicator of the quality, the consistency, and the deliberateness, I kind of butchered that one, didn't I? Of your efforts, right? It doesn't mean, going to impact and intention. It doesn't mean you have bad intentions. You intend to win and you're giving an effort. But we have to understand that what's important is having the type of energy and impact to produce what it is we want in life. You look at you look at your weight. And again, I mean, it can be body composition, it can be weight, it can be whatever. That tells volumes about what your effort is in terms of looking to get in shape. It says nothing about your intentions, or does it? It tells you everything about your intentions, because here's the thing. If I intend to do it, if I really intend to do it, then I'm going to get it done. It may not happen overnight. And in fact, it's not going to happen overnight for most things. It happens over time. But if I truly intend to do it, guess what? I'm going to be doing it. And that's the difference between true intentions and false intentions. And people with false intentions use the intentions as a smokescreen to not get anything done in their life. Hey, you are a walking scoreboard. Period. I'm a walking scoreboard. Everything we think, feel, believe, the quality of our efforts and what we think our capacity is and how we focus and the direction we're moving, how we use our time, what we deposit in our time, and all of that stuff shows up when you look at a person. Right? People in life will tell you, you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, that ain't what the Bible says. The Bible says you can tell a man by his look. You can tell a man by his gait, which is his walk. You can look at a person, right? Can't you tell a tree by its fruit? Don't judge a book by its cover. Look, man, if you believe that, then you definitely going to get fooled, because somebody can show you that they're a manipulating, lying deceiver, but you're going to believe something else. You ain't going to believe your own eyes. Why? Because you can't judge a book by its cover. Nah, man, you're a liar. Hey, man, you fat. I was fat. I dig it. But the fact that I got into shape, it's like, dang, you can do this. I can do this. I didn't have to stay fat. I didn't have to stay exhausted. I had to do what? I had to get my intentions right and have honest intentions and get my effort lined up properly. And when I say get lined up properly, I had to move it from just putting in the effort to, okay, I need to build up the energy to create the impact that I want to have on my physical body or in business or whatever or whatever. You know, get out of this soft game, man. Get out of it. It's going to kill you. It is. When I say kill you, for some it's going to kill them physically in the term because of the sickness and disease that comes from it. But when I say kill you, I'm really talking about it's going to kill the life that you can ideally live. The bottom feeders are those that live soft. Many people think it's the privileged at the top, and to a certain extent that could be true, but I think that's a scapegoat. People that can reach the top of their industries, and the top of different industries is going to be different. And what you may call the top is going to be different than what somebody else calls the top. But those that reach the top, they have a spine like steel. They have a mind that's like a steel trap. They don't let that noise get in, and if the noise does come in, they go to war with it. They understand that it takes a backbone, not a wishbone. You know, a lot of people, that's what they got, man. It's like, man, they got a wishbone, man. I wish this happened. I wish that happened. I hope this happens. I hope that happens. No, man, you got to have the backbone to go out there and make it happen. Stop wishing it happens and stop hoping it happens. Don't get me wrong. You can have your wishes and you can have your hope. But if you don't go out there and make it happen, that's all you're going to be stuck with. A wish in one hand and a hope in another. That's it. You ain't going to have nothing else. You got to go, and you got to know it's going to hurt. It's going to take some time. You're going to lose a lot, but it has to be worth it. And that's why it goes back to what we talked about to start this podcast. It's showtime. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I'm not going to go all over it again. You can go back and listen to that part again, but keep that in mind. Start your day knowing that it's showtime, knowing that you are the catalyst to your family's success, that it starts with you and it ends with you. The celebration in your house and the suffering in your house is with you. Somebody in your house has to own it. Somebody in your life has to own it. Stop giving it over to other people and other things. Hey, I'm out. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Success Sculpting Show with Stephen Pierce. If you like what you just heard, we hope you'll pass along our web address, successsculptingshow.com, to your friends and colleagues. Be sure to check out our archives of previous podcasts and check the schedule to join us for our next live streaming Success Sculpting Show webcast. This has been a Success Sculpting Incorporated production. Join us next time for another edition of the Success Sculpting Show with Stephen Pierce, and tell your friends.